Hello, baby. Did you miss me? Welcome back to Everything But a podcast, where we talk about philosophy, business, books, boys, love. Actually, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here, but that's why I titled this Everything But a podcast. It's been a while since I've talked to this microphone to basically no one, but I'm back with a new edition that I call Book Reviews with Trish, or you could say BookChish. I don't know. That's entirely up to you, but yeah, I wrote this review around the span of December 13, 2023 throughout, I think, February or March, early March. So this is some sort of peek or a throwback to the early months of this year that I've been reading this book, authored by Stephen Hodge, ZEN. So this is basically a crash course, a theological crash course on a Buddhist practicing religion or lifestyle that's called ZEN. Let me start you off with an excerpt from the first few pages. When everything is seen as one, we return to the source and stay where we have always been. Now let's start with Siddhartha Gautama. I hope I'm saying that right. Or basically, the Buddha. He was a born prince in Lumbini, Nepal, encourages people to lead an original life, finding out their own truths. And the basic fundamentals of Buddhism came from his experiences to enlightenment. It wasn't of revelation of a god. So what is this enlightenment that we keep hearing about? So enlightenment is not something we must acquire bit at a time. It may not be a process of penance, but instead it is a state of revelation or epiphany that can occur instantly when we readily cut through the veil of mental and emotional obstructions or obscurations. Essentially, what I picked up from these few pages was that kindness, patience, and generosity motivates nearly all human actions as per ZEN, the ZEN lifestyle. Our actions are charged positively and negatively. These imprints flow in the mind stream until it is released sometime in the future when circumstances meet at the same wavelength or energy pattern as our imprints, or what we call the positively and negatively charged actions, or what we call the process of karma. We short-circuit this endless process of karma or cause and effect through silencing our thoughts in meditation. The book then states 3 principles and strategies to live a sound life. Now this is my own takeaway of basically the whole chapter. So, nothing in the world belongs to you. You may act empowered, but the universe has its miraculous methods of grounding you to your roots, your natural state. What I'm trying to say here is that Earth is not ours to keep, rule, or control. It is for humanity, for civilizations to conquer truths and beauty. Buddha says, suffering, impermanence, and absence of self-ego are the 3 pillars of human existence. By accepting and acknowledging these characteristics of human life, we liberate ourselves from ignorance and attachment to delusions or pseudo-reality. There's this great excerpt from this page. It says, with a scalpel of insight that humans cannot and shall not avoid or control pleasure and power to subordinate it to our desires and wishes. Wow, right? So the summary for this is to accept, reflect, let go, or move forward. A little quote from me before we end this episode is that peace comes to those who are simple and direct. Peace becomes your disciple when we entrench ourselves in the simplicity of nature and its enlightenment. How are you liking this book so far? I hope it's not sounding like a tangent. I'll cut this episode right here for now, since we are going to discuss a lot of Zen masters over the years, even starting as far back as 400 BC, which is mind-boggling. But really, this is gonna be a lot of fun because I get to read out my thoughts. These are genuine thoughts, and right now I'm actually flipping through the pages, seeing how much stuff I wrote about it. Usually when I do read books, which is not as often, but when I do, I read them like textbooks. That's why I have these lengthy notes about each chapter and each guru, and I'm currently actually reading The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peck, which I'm starting to make a book review right now. As of this moment, I might release that as a podcast too, but maybe not. But don't get too excited, because we'll be focusing first on this lengthy philosophical, theological conversation, girly bestie conversation about Buddhism, Zen, and life as a whole. I hope you like this. Until I see you again, bye bye.